and unpacking that. I'm interested in this idea of the daemon. This is kind of concept of the this thing of this sort of like in sort of like a history of philosophy sort of a way. We have monad with Leibniz, who also is like the origin, you could say, of computation. And then like we have Deleuze talking about the monad is the one is the one thing, indivisible atomic elements, let's say. And then we have this idea of the nomad, and that's moving away from things to sort of to vectors of movement. And nomad is a play on words, is rearrangement of the word monad. And then I think a lot about the daemon, sort of like an autonomous spirit or autonomous entities. And sort of as a re-enchantment of, the daemons were what motivated, were thought to have motivated humans in the time of the ancient Greeks and before. We all had a daemon that guided us, and perhaps we're returning to that sort of notion of, we're not the one thing, we're not the line of flight, we're some sort of other structure, which I don't really know. Anyway, so that's that. I'm an herbalist. I become an herbalist. I'm really interested in this idea of how do herbs heal us or improve our well-being. I'm really interested in doing a lot of citizen science around the phytochemistry and phytophysics of herbs and medicine making, tinctures, teas, salves, balms, isolating different chemical constituents, looking at things like epigenetics and how what is some of the things that supplements are doing, like CoQ10, which is like supposed to like help, like I think methylate or help with methylation. How can we look at that in plants, and have enable individuals to create their own medicine? That's really important to me. I'm interested in sort of thinking about myth and fairy tales and I guess we can say storytelling, performance. I'm really interested in joy and having fun and creating stories that enrich our lives. I do think a lot of the patriarchal myths that we have inherited have really come to a close, have led to a dead end. One of the things I wanted to do was have this workshop, surveillance, poetics, and the state. How basically creating new epic literature for something beyond the state, since so much of epic poetry has been in service of the state. Even something like Leaves of Grass, which is amazing. But a lot of Whitman's poetry is in service of like Abraham Lincoln and very, very nation state oriented. People like Alice Notley have tried to do something different, which I think is really interesting. And then I'm interested in systems and governance, like what does it mean to be free people and to govern ourselves? When do we need laws? When do we need discussion? How can we, what does it mean to live a life equality? And then finally, I've been interested for a long time in sort of what is wealth and what is money. It's a fiction, right? Like government is a fiction, but it's a fiction that impacts us. Plants are not a fiction. Plants have their own vital force. Maybe money does have its own vital force. Maybe I'm wrong, but in my mind, it's artificial. How can we play with economics and sustainability in a way that decouples us from what I see as the broken forms of capital and political economy. So it's a lot. I put a lot of stuff out there. I am really, really interested in spirit and the occult and the unseen forces, the invisible fields. What are ways that we can bring things into being um, beyond from the sort of empirical materialist tradition that we've all grown up in. So that's it. There are a bunch of sort of formats I was thinking about. Like I'm really interested in workshops, right? Medicine making workshops or ritual like psychomagic workshops or anything. Family constellation workshops, either to exchange skills or to learn and teach or to participate. I'm also really interested. I participate in many like study circles or labs. Deep dive into a series of texts or films or movements, and just do a yoga kriya every day for 28 days, and we all discuss what comes up for us. And then I'm really interested in the creation of rituals and ceremony, especially combining that with governance and science. How can we ritualize these aspects of our existence that I think are critical, that I see critical to a new society, and then inviting people for talks, roundtables, and then residencies and exhibitions. Either to sponsor those, or to collect that from within Black Sky, or whatever we call this new thing. Anyway, it's a lot. If anyone has any questions.
I don't have a question, but I think all of those are really interesting. I love a lot of that. And I resonate a lot with like the herbalism kind of stuff. And I think the wealth discussion is also really interesting. I think, and the rituals and ceremonies too really resonates with me.
Yeah, yes, I agree. I think we haven't had like a deep herbalism topic touched on Black Sky yet. But I was also thinking, that's just like a side tangent, that at some point, how like a lot of adaptations that the plants have, it's to deter certain animals. But it always like puzzled me, and I think I asked some even like science people around me, like how do but a lot of plants, they have like very specific use case that's beneficial to human. Not all, of course, some are poisonous, but like how do they develop that? I mean, I guess it's like extends to animal kingdom. Like, so yes, we know like evolution and stuff, but suddenly, like even okay, maybe like, that's not a plant. That's like a more strong example in like insects. Like some insect can paint the wings of another insect, like some fly like dying or something. Do you know what I'm talking about? But it's similar in plants, but it also like, I thought, okay, the plants developed all these adaptations to fight off predators, but a lot of them have this ingredients that are very beneficial to human. Like, how does it work? And like something is like very specific, and a lot of medicine is derived from something that's in plants, essentially. Even I think GLPs and Ozempic, like one is from this lizard, and another one is from this like horny goat's weed or something. Not the horny goat, some other goat. I forgot the name of the plant.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Like, I mean, the biggest example is like aspirin from willow.
Mm-hmm.
The willow tree, but there's so much. Anyway, continue. It's really.
Yes, and I think I looked into it. There were like a lot of people use it for some hormonal stuff. That's also like there's a lot of like endocrinology, despite like crazy rates of diabetes or heart disease or whatever. It's like in many places is not explored, not studied for like even not just gender, just like even I know people who suffer with like thyroid stuff, and it's like a very standard test, and a lot of doctors or like there's just like so many blind spots or like unexplored domains within something like very common. And I know there are a lot of people using, and that's also like difficult because technically there's not like scientific study, but there's like maybe some tradition going back centuries or like word of mouth type of thing, and people use it for something like very specific use cases. But that just like fascinated me. How did that develop, and how did that fit, and why so many plants are serving the human, or is it just like normal, or because they, on the other hand, some of them will be very poisonous to animals, and I think maybe that's because they evolved more together. But like how is that we know so many plants that are healing to us? And I personally used like oregano oil, and I haven't been sick, knock on wood, with like a cold since like 2019. And in 2019 I was sick 3 times. Even my partner recently had COVID, and I didn't test positive. So I don't know what it is. I usually like I have like other problems, or like sometimes I have like problems with energy or like something else. But I don't know. And I just take that, and I remember taking it more often, and I recommend it to anyone. And my partner doesn't want, he has like some stomach issues from oregano. And so he gets sick a little more often than me. And sometimes, like, if he's really bad, then I like to do like oregano and sauna and heat. And that's like how a good get, like, I do feel sometimes if I'm like, or even, partying at these crypto conferences where everyone's like coughing, and I would just like load up on oregano and give it to everyone around me. Even if I feel like something in my throat, it passes. But like, what is it? And like, does it like, I hope, I mean, I also like to use this, like, I think this is touches on another stuff about like, I thought some point you made about not manifestation, but like, what if we predict what happens when we predict? It is like a completely different tangent, but I also like to believe that, okay, I'm not getting sick, like I'm always healthy. And sometimes it works for some physical aspects better than others. And that touches on another topic of like cognition that I personally also want to explore. But I'm saying I can talk more about it. I just like don't want to. I mean,
No,
maybe
I
like
mean, it's so interesting. I mean, it's like I love. I mean, like I could do a work. Like I could do like a work. Like I could do like a workshop, or like a round table, and everyone could come. And I mean, it's so interesting. Like even on the molecular level, how we have particular receptors to particular molecules. In
yes.
I mean, it's like it's it's astounding. It's on the anyway. But yeah, that's cool. I'm really happy. Anyway, any other thoughts or reflections? We can move on to something else.
I'm also into the herbalism. I'm putting up a marketplace, really simple here, local, just to support the 144, to understand how to move product between different locations and set up certain like models. And first product that I'll be selling is the supplements, like whether herbal supplements or some adaptogenic mushrooms. So definitely interested in learning from you, Eon.
Oh, that's really cool.
And rituals and ceremonies design or co-involvement within the team. I think it's important. I'm all about simplification and figuring out how can I simplify my life through ritual. But yeah, thanks for sharing.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Okay, so what do we have next on our agenda? And should we discuss other people's? Should we discuss? Does someone else want to go through their stuff, or I mean, or did that happen before? Or how do I want to continue? You want to pick one? Yeah. What do you want to do next? We have 20 minutes left.
yeah.
We
If
have
anyone
4
wants
minutes.
to,
We have 3 minutes left. If we're doing the 44 minutes for 144.
do we? I thought it was like an hour. I think we had the meeting running over an hour.
Okay. So we have 20 minutes left.
I can kind of run through mine. I just kind of like
cool.
jotted some stuff. So topics of interest, I don't know if this is necessarily a topic, but I kind of talked about this last time, I think, was like the community hub platform. So like having a platform where communities could, have their group together somewhere that's not like a Facebook group, something specifically, it would be for Black Sky, but we could use it as a platform and then make it kind of into a product that other people who wanted to build community could use. So you can kind of discuss projects or things that you're interested in and have kind of like maybe offshoot chat rooms and message boards. And I like the old internet kind of feel from like back in the day. And this was something that we talked about for building for Black Sky for a while. You know, kind of getting us off of just like Signal and having it feel more like community with profiles and